Hello Facebook friends. I'm making a video for everybody on my friends list to demonstrate how to make a water cure. I've had some interest from a few people, so a video is long overdue. Thought I'd take a little time to make it. For anybody else who may have tried to figure out what this is, I'll demonstrate on the properties of the water cure and how it can help you. Okay. So I'll kind of talk while I do the demonstration. First, you go out and buy 2 bottles. These are soda bottles. Okay. You know, I think the green one might be better, but maybe if I have a little time, I'll explain why. But at the end, but you take the seal off with a knife. And the label, of course, is off. Clean it up. I don't drink soda. I don't recommend anybody drink soda. So you want to dump that. Okay. You have 2 bottles right here. I have 1 bottle that's about 80% full, and I've had this transformer rod in there for about 45 minutes. Okay. This water's already been cured. So I'm just going to show you. This transformer rod will bring the pH up about 1.5 on the pH scale, from a 7.0 neutral to 8.5. That's the whole purpose of that. It'll help match our blood alkaline pH. Okay. Our blood pH is 7.365, which is slightly more than neutral. And a lot of our, a lot of things we eat or drink is acidic, so we have to be very careful to have an over-acidic system, especially in our blood cells. So this transformer rod will bring it to an 8.5 pH. Now, also inside of this bottle and in the water, I've added about a half a teaspoon of these electrolytes. Highly mineral, about over 80 elements, primarily sodium chloride, so it has a salty taste. I put about a half a teaspoon in there. I use a little spoon, or I just use my, pinch it in there maybe 3 or 4 times right from the bag. And those electrolytes, along with this transformer rod, you'll shake up about 30 seconds. It's already been done, so this is for demonstrating. Okay. You let that sit for about 45 minutes to an hour, or 40 minutes to an hour on the average, and you'll get your pH content. It'll be anywhere from an 8.4 to an 8.7 or so, something like that, if it's an hour. Okay. And then what you do is you transfer the water with the second bottle. You have a funnel, ideally. Done right in here. You can still see it. Let's transfer that water. One of the things we want to do is get the rod out. So far we have an 8.5 pH. It's highly electrolytic, and those 2 characteristics are very good for our red blood cells, all the cells in our body. Remember, we are 80% water, so the trick is to make the water created into an optimal state so it best matches our body's needs for longevity and purpose, and to avoid disease. So now you take the rod out. We'll use that later, and we have 1 empty bottle and 1 80% filled. And this is about 54 ounces, by the way. Okay, so on the empty bottle, you place this Vortex Connector. Okay, so we're going to vortex the water. You can see it's a certain metric diameter in there. for optimally vortexing the water. So we take this and we go ahead and screw it on and we vortex it. It's a two-handed way to do it, and you want to use the table or surface that you're doing this on as a kind of leverage. So you do it with one hand up on top and one right here. You go to the left and then to the right. Again, I'm just a little bit pushing down on the surface so that it also assists on getting this vortex. As you see, it's a nice vortex. Now, why am I vortexing? This will take the surface tension to a calmer state. Okay. There's a lot of research that states that you know, international research, Russians, European, Japanese, Korean, that states that we should not be drinking water that flows in a straight line because that's not natural. If you've ever, of course most of us have flown in a jet plane in the water, in the river, when you look down, all the rivers are in they're going to look like a snake. So, you know, they're just like, I mean, like this. I mean, they're curving, you know, dramatically. So you got all the banks and vortexes, the vortex actions going on. The water flow hits the banks, and that causes the water to be in a more active state. If we try and straighten the rivers, the water just dies. And unfortunately, that's what's been happening in the last 200 years or so, or more. This is the third time. I do 4 vortexes, by the way. So, while it's vortexing, I'll also tell you that this vortex science is based on the work of Viktor Schauberger, an Austrian naturalist, during the early part of the 20th century. He found that vortex water is how fish can actually hover in flowing water or jump over falls. They'll actually jump through a vortex. That's how they do get over after many tries. So the whole point is that water that flows in a straight line is not natural. It should have a surface tension that's what's called laminar. That's Viktor Schauberger's word. It's calm state rather than an aggressive or turbulent state. Okay. And so for demonstrating purposes, I think I've done 3 or 4, but that's good enough for demonstrating. I'll go ahead and unscrew this. So now that's 3 sciences already. We have first the transformer rod that brings the pH up to an 8.5 state that best matches our blood's alkalinity, okay, to offset our over-acid diets. And then we have the electrolytes in there that'll keep the blood in a globular or round state rather than a deformed pleomorphic state, which means that the body is over-acidic and it doesn't have the minerals in it that it requires, all the elements, which is quite extensive in the natural quantities. So the best way to get it from nature is to use the electrolytic powder here that comes from mines. Okay, I feel that sea salt will be okay as a substitute, but it's not as effective. It's only about 15 minerals, and it could be polluted. This is totally clean, mined. Okay, so our body also is slightly salty. If you ever have a sugar urge, no, it's not sugar urge, sugar that your body needs. It's salt. Okay, it's a salty high element mixture is what you need, because the blood or our tears, you can actually taste it. It's salty. So, and our blood is too. Okay. So that's something that we need to think about. You don't want to have regular salt in your diet or weak salt. You need the best mineralized or electrolytic salt, if you want to call it that, that you can get your hands on. Alright, so that's the second thing, is the electrolytes. And then the third method or science is Viktor Schauberger's Vortex method, to acquire a laminar state in the water. Okay, so that it'll calm down from this aggressive state after it's flowing through these miles of pipes that are straight or in 90 degree turns. Okay, so we're bringing the water into a cured state, is what we're doing. This is water cure. This is ready to drink. I actually put the water in a container. I don't drink it out of this. I put it into a nice big flask, okay, and drink it from there. Now, how much? Now we've got the qualitative science part of it down with these three sciences. Now, how about the quantitative, which is also essential for any science? You have to meet both these requirements of qualitative and quantitative. Say, for example, in a car, you have to know how much oil is in there, so you have to have a dipstick to check, right? Well, that's a good analogy. What I did was I made this instrument to figure out how much hydration we actually do have in our body, and it's very important that you know that. You may think that you're healthy, or you may have few problems, or you're drinking a lot of water, but number one, the water is not very good, not good enough. It hasn't been cured, and number two, you're not getting enough. And you can drink as much uncured water as you want. It's probably not going to help very much. I'm not saying it's better. It's not, that it's the same as soda or alcohol or something. No, it's far better than that. There's a continuum of quality, but if you're going to drink anything, you always drink water, even if it's not that great. But you want to get it into the optimal state of being cured. Okay, and that's why I'm demonstrating this method. Okay, so we have cured water. What we do next then, after we drink some of this, is we do a hydration test, which is the quantification of the science. It's this instrument right here. It's called the Hydromotivator. Okay, it's got a little three-pointed base, and it has this cylinder on it, and inside is this instrument. It's called the Hydromotivator. This is urine. So you use a little Dixie cup in the bathroom, and you take a urine sample, and you pour it in there, and it's not quite to the top. But as you can see, this instrument has color codes in it. The color codes will tell you how hydrated or dehydrated your body is. You want it to be in the blue, ideally. I'm showing you in the pink right here because I want to demonstrate, that that's slightly dehydrated. Okay, so the instrument will rise according to the relative density of particles in your urine. This is a specific gravity method. Okay, so you twirl a little bit, make sure you get a good reading, and it's twirled. And then you have the other two measurements of purple and red. That's dehydrated and very dehydrated. That's dangerous. You want it to be in the blue, which is right here. Now, if this was pure water, it would be either blue or white. It wouldn't rise hardly at all. It would be, just barely. It would be right around and through here. But since the relative density of this urine has some in it, some particles, it'll rise as you can see. So this will be a good instrument. for you to measure your body's hydration. And it is important. You may, like I said, you can drink cured water, but are you drinking enough? Okay, that's a big question. You may not be. You need to use this instrument. Now this cup and this Hydromotivator instrument needs to be in the bathroom near the toilet within arm's reach. Okay, and it's a 10-second test. You can do it 3, 4, 5 times a day. I would even use a chart if you want. I mean, if you want to be optimally healthy, even you want to decelerate aging, which is entirely possible. I know I'm testimony to that. I've been using this method since 2007. I haven't really aged at all since then. And that's been 6 years. Not exactly politically correct, but I think I could probably live to 120. Do I want to really live longer than that? I don't know. But I don't think about it. I just want to be healthy. I don't need disease in my life. I don't need to start getting into forgetting in older age. You know, that's where the brain starts dehydrating. It shrinks. It can just be cured by a water cure. I don't know why we spend $10 billion a year on that, but whatever. I suppose that we need an excuse for everything to make money. And I don't mean to be, blunt, but a lot of diseases can be cured by just basic cellular hydration. And for those people who drink plenty of water, you're not getting the quality. You may not be getting the quantity. And this instrument right here, you should be using the water cure only. You don't need false readings. This method has helped a lot of people. It's helped some people on my Facebook friends list. I do have some testimonies. It's helped my family. I've shared it with my family and some friends. I don't see why I can't share it a little bit wider. I've sold a few to a few people, but I really haven't marketed it much. It comes in this kit. I call it the French Water Cure Diet. French Water Diet on the box, but French Water Cure Diet is what it is. It's got a little explanation on how to use a Hydromotivator in the back. Everything is in there. It's got the Hydromotivator, the Vortex Connector. It's got the 1 pound of electrolytes in it. Okay. And it has instructions in there too. Okay. And the transformer rod is in there too. So this is the transformer rod. It's actually got the minerals in there too for making your body's blood cellular level more pH. This is science. 4 sciences in one. I sell it for $95. I ship it out for that too. Same price. Anywhere in the States. PayPal, M.I. Grady, that's M.I. as a Mike, M.I. Grady, G-R-E-D-Y, at hotmail.com. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You can message me, you can comment. But this is for real, my friends. I need for you to stay healthy, and you need for you to stay healthy and live a long life. I want what's good for you. You want what's good for you. Make the best decision in your life. Take control of your health and your own destiny. Take full responsibility once you find out some of these little tricks to beating disease or accelerated aging. This is it. I know of no better method. Okay. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you later.